Well, all right. Hello and welcome to Friday with the Founders. My name is E.R. Wolf. I'm one of the co-founders here at Elify. I'm joined with my business partner, Guy Toole, and we're going to be talking about all things Elify on this Friday call. So let's kick it off. We've been going through themes each and every week, and our theme for this week is sharing in a whole new way. Last week, we talked about how do we introduce ourselves and the cards and different content we can make on the platform. But if you're new to this conversation, you're probably asking yourself, what is Elify? What is Shuffle? What is Tap? So let's kick it off there. Elify is a technology company first and foremost, and our focus is on creating micro technologies that support the success of entrepreneurs, small business owners, work-at-home professionals, sales professionals, and business professionals from all different industries for that matter. We do this by focusing on cutting-edge technologies and simplifying and scaling them down so that they're accessible to everybody. So things like these QR codes and using them in all different ways within your business, or different types of trackable hyperlinks, or even creating digital content on the platform, whether that's a digital business card or whether that's a landing page to promote a product, a service, or your brand. We want to make all of that accessible for a nominal monthly fee so that any business owner can implement it in their business. In addition to creating these micro technologies, we are also a community of like-minded professionals who are all working together for the common good of community members to make sure everybody maximizes their success by leveraging these technologies. So we'll talk about best practices and best use of the technologies, but we'll also talk about core business methodologies that you can implement within your business to gain a competitive advantage. And that's really what Elify is all about. Now, we've got two products in the marketplace right now. The first product that we have in the marketplace is Elify Shuffle. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, Guy, and just sort of give people a quick overview of this. And this is really the platform that allows you to create all types of content and really simplify your sales and marketing. In this case, the example here is a digital business card, and we're talking about how we connect with new relationships so that we can start to build that bridge so that they do business with us. But you can create pretty much any landing page that you envision on the Shuffle platform. It also allows you to generate the QR codes, the trackable links, and gives you trackability all the way down to the individuals or groups that you're sharing information with, so you can know the impact of your marketing efforts and you can know who's looking at what when. In addition to Shuffle, we have our Tap solution. This is implementing a complementary solution for in real life sharing. Tap is near field communication technology. So what is near field communication technology? It's an NFC chip embedded in hardware that when you tap somebody's mobile device without having their phone number, without having their email address, all they have to do is hold up their phone and you have your tap card. When you tap their device, your link pops up directly on their phone. So along with this week's theme of sharing in a whole new way, Tap would be a great example of sharing in a whole new way, where I can seamlessly share information just by tapping people's mobile device. Now, Guy, we've talked about what is Elify. We've talked about what Shuffle is. We've talked about what Tap is. If you want to talk a little bit about the community and any other thoughts you want to add, we can go from there.
You know, to talk about our community, I think that's one of the biggest things in the aspect of what we're striving for here at Elify, is creating a community where like-minded people can come in, get ideas from other people. I think that's one of the biggest things when looking at affiliate marketing. Is there's so many trainers and coaches out there that are saying, hey, you need to have a toolbox, right? You need to have something in place for your resources to say, this is what I'm offering. These are all the different things I'm offering. I also have to have a way that I manage my affiliate program. There's so many companies out there that provide affiliate program tracking where you have to do it your own. You probably have to figure out how to set everything up. You have to do a YouTube search on how to set it up and tie everything together so I can go off and be a work-at-home professional. And what I love about our community is the ability that it's baked within the application. It's baked within what we have here. You have the support of our trainings 5 days a week from the aspect of in-depth training. And I see Kathy's on, Kathy Inman. So Kathy with a C, our master trainer, it does a training every Tuesday. We do a sprint planning to sort of help you get your week set up every Monday. What is your highest priority items to do throughout the week? And how are you going to prioritize your time, not just sit there and look at my calendar and say, well, I guess I have openings to do different types of things during these hours within my work week. We get in a little bit more on our ambassador program and what we strive for with that, making additional streams of income for individuals, and how Elify should be one of those tools if you're doing other affiliate programs in a way of marketing and referring and showing what you have with those offers, but then tying in a secondary opportunity here with us in the Elify affiliate ambassador program. Thursdays, we get into our mastermind, which we talked yesterday about multiple ways of sharing. And then here we wrap it up every Friday. So as a community, we have things that in other communities may cost. There's cost to a lot of trainings to sit down and say, hey, here's strategy, here's ideas and different types of things, and saying potentially that's something that's going to change and differentiate an ambassador to an affiliate moving forward. And maybe, that there's activity that needs to be done as an ambassador compared to an affiliate can just set it and forget it. We encourage people to just be a part of the community, bring more people in, understand that right now, we talked about it yesterday, ER, there's a lot of questions that people have with what's happening in the economy. The S&P, the Dow, everything's up and down, and personally knowing individuals who have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in their retirement investments just in a year's time, and trying to figure out how can they redeem some of that or look towards a way that they can pay some unexpected bill if it were to happen. We really see and would encourage everyone who's on today that if you're in that relationship marketing business, the direct sales, the affiliate marketing, and opportunities that you may be involved in, what are you seeing happening in those communities right now? Are you starting to see an influx of people coming in because they identify your products, your services, your opportunities as something that can support them if there was an unexpected bill, or they need to find additional streams of income? We really see these times, 2007, 2008, a huge influx in individuals looking at multiple streams of income and more open to opportunity. And then I think get a little bit more comfortable and the economy is going gangbusters, and then things start going south a little bit and you see more people open up to it. And what we love about the Elify community and the ambassador program here is no matter what venture you're doing, other opportunities, it's a tie-in. It's a solution that allows you to market your information, the right information to the right person at the right time. Doesn't matter what opportunities you have out there, you can put them on an Elify page and share those with others for them to consume, but also knowing in the process of me sharing, it is that right information to the right person at the right time. We see it happening on Facebook, and I was reading an article yesterday of the wrong messaging and the wrong sharing method. And it's as soon as I join an opportunity, I'm scaring everyone away because of the messaging that I'm putting out there is, I just joined this, I'm doing this, everyone should look at this. Mm-hmm. Instead of building a relationship like we should and understanding other people's needs, where they are at, what point they are in their life, and if there's value they can bring to them. And we know that there's value that can be brought to people, not only through the solution, but through knowing other people that they may know needing the solution as well, and being able to provide it to them at probably the most cost-effective solution, as well as the lowest point of entry opportunity, we'll say, that we know of.
I agree, Guy, and thank you so much for that. So what we want to do now is we want to open this up for anybody who has a comment, a tip, a trick, a celebration, or a question from this week. so that we as a community can talk through some of that stuff together. If you have any questions about anything related to Elify, related to Shuffle, related to Tap, we want to make sure we get the information out there. If you're new to the group, go on ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from. And we'd love to connect with you. I've gone ahead and put in my digital business card. If you haven't yet, let's connect. Also, by scanning this QR code, we can connect as well. And you'll see a few other people on here with their QR codes. This is what it's all about, as Guy mentioned. We want to be a community of like-minded individuals who are all working together for the betterment of each other, independent of what your primary business focus is. Katie, go ahead.
Kathy with a K.
Yep.
You were talking about TAP on Tuesday.
Yes.
And I'm not clear about when to use TAP versus when to use just sharing my business card. Can you kind of explain that, please?
I would love to. I would love to. And one of the things that was the theme of this week, I'm going to talk broadly, and then I'm going to zero down specifically on TAP. One of the things that we talked about this week is how we share information, right? Not just what information we build on the platform to share out to people, but how we're doing that sharing. And sharing happens, if we wanted to break it down into two categories, sharing happens in two different places. It happens online and it happens offline. And we don't want to forget about both of those locations, because you have places you share online and you have places you share offline. Online examples would be posting into a Facebook group or sharing through an instant messaging platform, where we would typically use our hyperlinks to the content we've created on the platform. However, when you're sharing offline, and all of this is all about high-tech meeting high-touch, guys, okay? We want to leverage the solution to be the technology, to be our digital presence. But we also don't want to forget what Guy was talking about with the relationship and building the relationship and people doing business with people they know, like, and trust. So when I am offline, and I'll use the acronym a lot, IRL, in real life, that's exactly when the TAP card has the biggest impact. Because how TAP works, and again, I'm holding up my mobile device here. I've got my TAP card right here. I bring my TAP card up to somebody's mobile device, and it puts the link right on their device. So the key component to that is I have to be in real life with that person in front of them with my TAP card in order to tap it to their mobile device to put my link on it. So that's when you're going to use TAP card the most. But there are other sharing mechanisms when you're in real life, when you're in person. Not every mobile device has NFC technology turned on. For any newer device, I would say at least 4 to 5 years or newer. I'm talking like iPhone 7, and guys were on iPhone 14. I'm talking probably Android 7 or 8 builds. They're going to have NFC technology already enabled. These are the same technologies they use for things like Apple Pay, when you bring your device close to the point of sale device at the store and tap it, and it charges your payment. That's NFC. So companies like Google's Alphabet and Apple are investing billions of dollars into NFC. It's going to be a big component in the future. But if the device is old or they have NFC turned off, instead of muddling through a process, because what we're doing is creating experiences with the people we're sharing information with, we can always turn our TAP card around and say, scan this QR code or scan this QR code. That's another way to share in real life. Again, if you have a booth at a trade show, or maybe you're up on stage speaking and you're giving a presentation, QR codes are a better way to get in front of masses of people, because your TAP card is really only going to be valuable on a one-to-one sharing process. So just to drive as much clarity on that as possible, TAP technology, NFC technology, is most useful in a one-on-one situation when you're in real life. Does that make sense? Okay, and then if you guys caught some of the recent videos, you might want to check this out on YouTube. We went through the process of how to program these TAP cards earlier this week on our Tech Tuesday call, and again, briefly on the Roundtable Thursday discussion. It takes about 10 seconds from your mobile device to program this. If you're logging into your Shuffle account on your desktop computer, you can do it remotely without having the card even present with you. And you can rewrite this technology unlimited number of times. So if you want to change the card, you're pointing to a different piece of content each time you go in to use it, you can definitely do that. We get the question all the time, how many tap cards do I need? You really only need one, unless maybe you're a leader and you want to provide these to your team and help them program them. Although I would recommend that they get their own shuffle accounts as well to manage that themselves. We do have people who have multiple tap cards. They do not want to reprogram them. They know what serial number goes to what information, and they're sort of going through the taps that they have. But very powerful technology. The way I like to think about tap, for everybody watching this, the way I like to think about NFC technology is how QR codes were maybe about 4 years ago. So think about QR codes 4 years ago, pre-pandemic. Not a lot of people in the United States knew about QR codes. They had been around for about a decade. They were being used in Asia very heavily, and they still are. And now, boom, the pandemic happens and we have an explosion in the use of QR codes. Yet there are tons of companies who understand what they are, but they don't understand how to use them. That's where we are with TAP right now. This is still early emerging technology. You aren't going to encounter it a lot, but what that allows us to do is create magic for the people we're sharing information with. So, Kathy, when you go up and you tap somebody's phone with this thing and your link shows up on their device and they haven't had a lot of experience, it's like the novelty of scanning your first QR code. So be aware in real life, when you're in person, when you're in lower numbers of people, it's the easiest to use. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have let's say I have 3 cards,
Yes.
3 QR codes.
Yes.
Okay, but the tap, that's where I get kind of like, but the tap only has 1 QR code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 3 different businesses,
Yep.
that means I need 3 different tap cards.
Not necessarily, because
That's
you
where
can
I'm confused.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through this, because this is a very counterintuitive topic that people don't understand about the web and how Elify is sort of disrupting things. Because typically when we think about a web page, which is what the platform allows you to create, the cards that you create in Shuffle are essentially web landing pages. You could use it as a digital business card. You could use it as a product brochure, overviewing your service. It doesn't matter what you use your card for. It's a single page. But how we disrupt things for trackability and for analytics is you can have a bunch of different links that point to that same web page. Typically, if you type in google.com, you go to the Google search engine. And that's how you all get to Google. You just go google.com and it pulls up the search engine. But I want you to imagine for yourself for just a second, if you typed in 4 different URLs, but all 4 of them went to google.com. That's essentially what we're doing when we're talking about Elify. So this could be your tap card. This could be a QR code link. This could be a hyperlink, right? And this could be another hyperlink. And all 4 of them are going to the same web page, but we're understanding the traffic flow through each of those 4 locations. Because as a business owner, we want to understand if we're making return on investment, ROI, on our marketing efforts. So that's why you only need 1 card and you can reprogram it over and over again, because this is just 1 channel. That's how we would describe links, as 1 channel for eyeballs to flow to the web pages you want them to see. So even though you only have 1 tap, you can reprogram the tap, and the QR code doesn't change. The tap card technology embedded doesn't change, but where it points to is what you're changing. So even if you have 3 businesses, on Monday, you could point the tap card to 1 business. On Tuesday, you could point it to the other business. On Wednesday, you could point it to the other business. You can only point it to 1 page at a time, but you can change the page that it points to, if that makes sense.
I think what you can do also with that, Kathy, is having 3 cards. And I know you're talking about 3 different businesses.
Yep.
You can go into an event and say, this is the 1 business that I'll be talking about. And you can set all 3 cards up to that 1 business, but something specific about that 1 business. Maybe, this is the index page of my business. And this is something that's specific on the other two that maybe you get more traction from, that people want to talk about a little bit more, or want to have more understanding of what you have within that business. And so you can have those additional cards, those secondary cards, as product or service specific cards that you're sharing at those events. But I think it really does help having three businesses, having three cards specific to those. And like ER saying, the QR code is specific to what the link is on that card. What I do is I create a campaign and then use the campaign for what I have that tap card assigned to. So I can go in and say, if I set this card to Friday with the Founders, October 14th, and I'm tapping it, that maybe there's a networking event that I go to later or something, and I'm tapping it, the in real life notifications that I'm going to be getting is understanding that this card, Friday with the Founder Analytics, was specific to this. Yeah. But I think where there can be confusion is then you can also create additional QR codes for that one card.
That's right.
So this QR code is basically a campaign to what's here, but you can create additional campaign cards that can be posted on social, can be printed out and put at like a point of sale type element. So I think maybe more and more training, maybe it's something on Tuesday with Kathy Inman is talking about QR code specific and tap to why we have those, what information can be driven, and how I can get my analytics of understanding what's going to be working for me.
So just to make sure I understand that I have one tap card. That one tap card is basically a landing page. And that one landing page is one campaign. And within that one campaign, I can drive people to like different locations depending on what they want or need. Is that?
Yes, with the clarification of it's a campaign, but not a landing page. So all it is a link. This card provides one link, whether it's through the QR code or through the card, and you choose what page you want to link that to at any given time you program it. So you can change what this campaign link points to. It's somewhat counterintuitive on how the web operates now, because I can change, or it's basically future-proofed, because I can change where this points to. So if I create 5 pages and one day I'm really using page number 1, I can use this card to point to page number 1, and it becomes an easy way to drive traffic in real life to page number 1. And we'll talk about programming this. I'll give a little show and tell in just a second. But then you decide, hey, I'm going to be promoting page number 2 tomorrow on Saturday. So you decide I'm going to swap it from pointing to page number 1, and I'm going to reprogram it, and now it points to page number 2. It no longer points to page number 1, it points to page number 2. Now I can change it back to page number 1, or I can change it to page number 3. You change it to whatever serves your best purpose at the time that you need it. So it is not a page itself, it's a hyperlink, if that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about it. I saw 2 questions come up. One of them was, how do we program this? And we're going to look at the 2 ways to program this. We're going to go through it pretty quick. Again, this is being live streamed, so you can come back to this recording if you need to slow it down and look at how do I program this from my phone or from my computer, okay? Additionally, I saw the question, when somebody opens my card, how do I get them to save it? And we're going to talk a little bit about the ways to save your information. And there are basically 3 different ways that I think of to save. And if anybody ever has any other recommendations, tips, tricks, because you're out using this, let us know. So the first thing we want to do is talk about programming this card. And again, all this is a link. So when I hold it up to somebody's device and open it up, it puts the link on their phone. I'm going to tap that link. It's going to open up to the business card that I pointed it to. Okay. And right now it's Doug Baldwin, I think, construction business card that we use for a sample. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my screen here. We're going to do a quick tutorial on programming your taps. Again, because the theme of this week is different ways to share, guys, I cannot stress it enough. If you do not have a tap card, get into your account right now, order one of these tap cards, because if you do any type of in real life networking, events, booths, trade shows, this is going to be worth its weight in gold in connecting with people. So we've logged into our account. Once you order one of these tap cards, when you go under your name up here, you'll see My Tap Tech show up. Now, in this case, for our demo account, we have 3 different tap cards. So we see 3 different serial numbers. Okay, and what we'll also see is where the card is pointing to at that time. In this case, the serial number I'm working with right now is on the card. It's 004 here. So if I want to update this to go from pointing to Doug Baldwin's card, I would adjust it by clicking here and putting in a different domain name, a different URL. Now you'll see, we talked about this on Thursday with sharing. I've got the little T equals, that tells me I'm using a campaign link, so I'll get tracking. Remember, our shortcut is T equals tracking, okay? If I wanted to change it to a different card, I could use my digital card selection and it'll pull up all of the cards that I have, and I can quickly select a card. But remember, if I select a card, like here's a real estate card, and put it on there, you'll see that the link no longer has the tracking. It's just the card link. So be aware, if you want to use a campaign in here, you'll need to jump over to your card section, find the card that you want to be using, okay? And in this case, on earlier, we had our Doug Baldwin construction card, and I just went down to the campaigns and I grabbed the campaign link. Maybe I'm working a trade show booth. So I'll open up that campaign link, I'll copy the link, and remember, I see the T equals, so I know that I'm copying something that's trackable. And once I have that copied, I'll come back to my Tap Tech, go to that serial number, hit edit, and instead of using the card selector, I can just paste that in. And again, T equals, and it's tracking. Now, you don't always have to point your tap card to a shuffle card. You could point it to any URL you want it to point to. I know a lot of us use redirects. So we have a vanity URL, right? Anna has AnnaMBrooks.com. I could type that full URL in here and it would redirect through. As an example, I'll just type in Google and we'll hit save. And again, I'm going to go through and show you guys on my phone here now that we've done that, and then we're going to do it through the mobile phone. Here I have my device. Here I have my card. I'm tapping my card to the device and the link pops up. And our expectation now is it's going to take us to, lo and behold, google.com. So again, it's something that takes about 10 seconds to program, and you're just programming where the card points to. So that's what's so powerful. The QR code on the back doesn't change. The NFC technology, the antenna that's embedded with this in this doesn't change. We're just changing where this points to so that we can point it to anywhere we want it to when we want it to point there. So let's program it back to our construction card through our mobile device. Let me share my mobile device and we'll go through that. And then I'll hit how do you save? How do you save a card? Because I want to talk about those 3 ways to save, because it's one thing to have content. It's another thing to share that content. The third thing is we want the person who gets in front of that content to keep it, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me as I go through. Sometimes takes a second for my phone to jump on here. All right, everybody should be seeing my mobile device, okay? So you guys know, and I'm going to do some screenshots to call out a few things as we go along because it lets me edit. Here's my Shuffle native application. I downloaded that from the App Store. If you don't have that downloaded from the App Store, you're going to want to make sure to do that. Once I do, I can click that and it will launch my Shuffle. The first thing it's going to launch every time I open Shuffle is my cards, but we realize the Tap Tech is underneath the More option. Now, I know I want a trackable campaign, so before I go to the More option, I'm just going to click on my construction card, click on my campaigns, go back to my trade show booth, and copy that link. So all I'm doing is hitting copy link. You see it popping up and down. Okay, now that I have the copied link saved, I'm going to get back out of here, and we're going to go to the More option in the bottom. And again, same thing we had on the desktop. I'm going to circle it for everybody. Tap tools, right? That's where we program our tap card from our mobile device. So you can program it from your computer without having the tap even with you. You'll need the tap card with you if you're programming it from your mobile device. And again, if you guys have questions as we go along, throw those in the chat. We're going to hit the My Tap tools, and you see it says tap forwarding. Again, because we're forwarding, we're not really reprogramming this, we're just programming where it points to. It's going to ask us, do we want to scan the QR code or do we want to tap it? We'll hit tap it. It's going to pull up a reader. It's scanned to make sure we have the card and it knows the serial number automatically. We have the same select digital business cards here if I just wanted to pull up a card, but I don't. I already have my URL copied. So I'm just clicking here, tapping to get my paste option and pasting in the URL. I'm validating. Oh, there's the T equals. That means I have tracking. I'm going to hit done and hit save. Okay, and then we'll hit done again. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to test it out, guys. Practice makes perfect, right? Or practice makes better, at least. Perfect practice makes perfect. We're going to tap the card. Our link popped up. We're going to open up our link. And instead of going to Google, it's now going back to our business card. And we're going to get all of the tracking. Okay, let's jump into how to save now. You've just put your information in front of somebody's eyeballs, hopefully on their mobile device where people are averaging 4.5 hours of screen time, right? We want to put our information where their eyeballs are, and we want them to save it. So you've got a few options, guys. Okay, on the card, you'll have a Save My Card. On some cards, you may not, okay? This card, it doesn't have the Save My Info, so I need to add that back. But if you click the share thing, and all I did, to be honest, was click, I'm gonna close this out real quick. I clicked this little icon in the upper corner. It's good for you to know this. This is on pretty much everybody's browser, but there's a little thing, it's an outbound share link. If I click on that, and I'm just gonna hit done, it pulls up a little menu. Hopefully you guys can see that on my phone. And at the bottom of this, I can actually save to home screen. I think there might be more actions here. I don't have it on mine.
So ER, you have your phone, you have an iPhone, but you have your browser set to Chrome. Most iPhones are set to Safari.
Safari, yep.
So when you select it and it goes to a Safari, there's
that save to home screen on here.
You'll have the save to home screen. That same little box that ER circled that was at the top is actually going to be in the middle on the bottom of your screen on Safari.
Yep.
You can scroll up, add to phone screen. I know if Ruben were on, his background a lot of times are people's card.
We have an option right down here that says save to home screen, and you can do that. And it'll put an icon on their device. And again, that's iOS specific for Safari. So thank you for clarifying that, Guy, because that will allow you to put it on their home screen of their device as an icon, right? As one of those things that sits right here, and it'd be your preview image, and they could click to come back to it at any time. So let me just delete that. The other option, and I might have to open up and preview one of the cards here that we know has that save. Go ahead and do this one, Top Realtor. We're gonna go ahead and preview it. So when they're viewing the card, the other two options are found underneath this. It's an icon that says Save My Info. So the first one is browser embedded for Safari. And again, if they're not on Safari, like I'm on Chrome, or maybe they're on Chrome because they're an Android user, you'll have to look at the Save to Home Screen options that may or may not exist from there. The other two exist under the Save My Info here. I'm gonna hit done. So when you click on Save My Info, guys, here are the two options. You can add to your phone contacts. What that's going to allow you to do is they're going to be able to save your name, first and last, your phone number, your email address, your address, and a link back to this card within their phone contacts. So if you want them to save it to their phone contacts, that's the way to go. However, if you want to get them to save it to the card index, that is within Shuffle. So this is a great opportunity to say, hey, you can download this free Shuffle app. You can save this into your card index. You'll always have access to my card. You can create your own digital business card. So I have that and we can refer each other business. So there's a value there. And if I ever update my card in the future, if you have my card in your card index, you'll get an alert, ER updated his card. So this is a great thing if you do monthly promotions or change your card up often, or you're just looking for a way to re-ping and ignite the relationships that you've shared your cards out with previously. Card index is the way to go. I would say that would be followed by probably the home screen. If you're on iOS, adding it to their home screen because it's always in their face. They're not going to get the alerts though, but they would see that it's on their home screen. And then finally in their phone contacts. I love the phone contacts because if I'm in their contacts, and I call them or message them, it's going to come up that it's coming from me. And if you're anything like me, when you're in getting phone calls or text messages, if you don't know who it's coming from, you'll disregard it. But if you do, you'll remember it. So those are the 3 ways to share, is either adding it to the home screen on the phone if they're a Safari browser user, saving it to their phone contacts, or saving it to their Shuffle card index. Again, they need to have Shuffle. Shuffle is completely free, and there are some value propositions for them getting Shuffle, including having their own card, both of you referring business, and being able to update your card and push notify to them that those updates are happening. Any additional questions on that? We talked about programming tap. And again, we did that pretty quick. We did it on our desktop. We did it on our phone, but the replay is going to be available, or saving the card. No. All right. Any other questions, tips, tricks, or anything Elify related for today's call, everybody?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so if someone wants to use their cards, say if they have several people, agents working for them,
Yep.
could they get one card at the regular price and then use the other 9 cards to give to their agents to use?
That is definitely an option. That is definitely an option. Look, every Shuffle account comes with 10 cards, and we get the question, why 10 cards all the time? Guys, we do a lot of different things. So typically, if you wear multiple hats or you want to focus on specific material, we say the right information to the right person at the right time. You want to build different cards. Now, Greg, to your point, you could build your card and 9 other agent cards within your account. That's definitely doable. I want to talk about some of the drawbacks of doing that. First and foremost, because you're on your account, none of the other agents will get any type of alerts or tracking or anything else, because that all is going to come to your account. Likewise, if you're using lead capture on any of the content pages that you're sharing out, on any of the cards you're sharing out, those leads would only come back to that primary account holder. So any alerts, any contacts, any tracking is only going to be contained within that one account. I always tell people, if they're going to be leveraging Shuffle as a methodology, as a process for managing relationships, they should have their own account. I have this conversation all the time with married couples who are running a business together. They're in the same business, but I tell them, you can either share an account, or I would encourage you to get separate accounts. This is why we allow ambassadors and affiliates to provide Shuffle at a discount. A guy would be the first person up here to say, look, if you can't afford $20 in your business, the first question you need to ask yourself is if you should be in business. As an expense for a tool in your business, it should be a no-brainer, because they're going to get the individual tracking. They'll have the card. They'll have multiple additional cards. And if you're using Shuffle correctly, everybody should have more than one card in their deck. Everybody, whether that's talking about a product, talking about you, talking about a service, you want to individualize the pages so that you're not blasting somebody who's receiving your information with all the information of what you do. We say it all the time, a confused mind says no. So we want to send the right information to people. You could definitely do that, Greg, but I would recommend that they have their own accounts. Even if you share the primary template with them and they clone it and edit it to be theirs, that way they can add their own tap cards. They can create their own campaigns. Otherwise, you as the primary account owner, you're going to get that question every day from those guys. Hey, I need a campaign link for this. I want to go here and share. Unless that's not important to the team, I would recommend individual accounts. Can it be done? Absolutely. Would I caution against it? Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps answer your question, Greg.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. That being said, if you are the manager or leader of a team, we see this happen as well. You may get the login information for your team members. Remember, that is the biggest point of security here is don't share your username and password unless you know who you're sharing it with. But we have leaders who will manage other people's accounts. They'll clone their card into the account. They'll program the tap card remotely from the browser. They'll adjust the templates. That's obviously doable, but I would still recommend it from individual accounts. Gary, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Yes, I was going to tell you, this Tuesday with the meeting you did with the tap and all,
Yeah.
It was real good and it explained it good. I went back and looked at it last night because I've been real sick for 3 weeks. And that's why I don't tell you, Guy, I hadn't got back in touch with you. But yeah, I was wondering, could y'all make like a special doing 2 tap cards and a month for $1, between $1 for the first month?
That's a great question. Look, we're always looking for different promotions, Gary, to provide. I know Guy and I don't know if it'll happen in Q4, but we've been talking about making packages available. You have to understand as well, within the Elify community and within Shuffle, in order to keep the pricing around that $20 a month, $30 a month retail, it's a DIY platform. So the people who are using Shuffle are in there building their own cards. Some of the packages that we're looking at are more done for you, where somebody is a sales professional, they want everything that Elify and Shuffle provides, but they don't want to do the heavy lifting of creating it themselves. Now, obviously, those will be higher ticket packages, guys, because they involve labor of an expert to come in and do some of the creation and coding. With that being said as well, guys, for our ambassadors and people who represent the Elify brand, they're already out there providing that service to some of their clients at an additional charge. We do not do that billing, but they're having them Venmo or PayPal or do that as an additional service fee. And as Guy says, as an additional stream of revenue. So consider that. The tap cards, we sell these, guys, retail, $20 per card, one-time fee. You can update them as many times as you want. You can reprogram them as many times as you want. We can allow you to order these in blocks of 10, right? So if you ordered 10 of them at one time, it's $200 for 10. You can always program these or set these up for other people and hand them out as a sample and then come back and say, hey, great, are you ready to get set up? That's something we've talked with James about and these other strategies. So Gary, thanks for the recommendation. We'll take it under consideration as we talk within the group about what types of packages we're going to offer in the future. As you mentioned, guys, there is a $1 trial. So if you're trying to get people to understand the value of Shuffle, you can provide them a trial for $1. There's a free account. You have to understand the limitations of the free account. You're only going to get 1 card, not 10. You're only going to get 1 link to share, not all of the campaign links, the analytics, the tracking, or any of that type of stuff. You're not going to have the relationship building tools that are within the premium Shuffle account. So it's 1 card, 1 link using only 1 business card template. But it is enough to get somebody a digital business card so that you guys can be referring business. The $1 trial is for premium, and then you have your discount available if you want to provide a discount on the monthly fee for individuals. So hopefully that helps. Gary, please get well soon. And again, as Gary recommended, and as Gary mentioned, guys, we do a lot of online live streams and training. We are on about every day of the week doing this stuff. If you miss it and you're interested, go back and check some of those recordings. They all exist on the YouTube channel. And we did an in-depth discussion about what I just quickly reviewed with TAP on Tech Tuesday. Because Kathy was traveling, I got to commandeer the Tech Tuesday call last Tuesday or this past Tuesday, and we went in and did a lot of stuff there. So that replay was live streamed. Now, Coach Jeff, thanks for joining the call. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, back in Mason City. So those that weren't on the call, I guess I just want to do one more follow-up shout out and thank you for those of you that didn't know. ER and I and my business partner were able to spend, you gave us way more time, man. I'll have to send your consulting fee. especially, and I won't give this away, I followed your directions to the hilt, and I've got an amazing landing page that will soon be integrated with an Elify card, which will be, and hang on, I got to do my, thank you for this, because that new invitation that I'm creating is a select invitation. So I keep my Elify tap card in my pocket. Of course, I've got the phone, which I'm on now. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to take my phone and hit the video, ask permission. I was getting my PT yesterday, and Leslie was working on me. I said, hey, Leslie, I've told you about this Elify Shuffle. I said, you're going to love this because you see people face to face. You're hands on. Watch this. So I pulled out the card, and again, she had a monster wrap around her phone, and I'm going to let you address that, ER, if sometimes that, and I couldn't get it. So I said, well, here's the QR. Well, everybody knows how to do QR. She whipped up a camera, boom, bang, there's my card. And, and then as far as everything you just did a tutorial on, she can add it to contacts or whatever, if I have the button there. So to make this short, I have the ability now with the tap card in my pocket to then select, because what we're doing, and again, I'm not giving it away, I'm not going here, tap, tap. I might have one card that, hey, this card is pretty much for everybody. But for a specific invitation type of special event or whatever, I have that card in my pocket right now, and I can select and tap, and then they're impressed. But here's what I'm going to do, and I'd recommend you guys do this. If you're using your tap card, get your phone out, hit your video, swing it around, and say, listen, Leslie, we're here in your physical therapy office. I'm going to give you a free promo for your business here in Bondurant. Can I go ahead and make a video of tapping the card and see what you think? And then she's going to open it and say, oh, wow, whatever. 15-second video. And we start popping those into the Elify site or wherever you want to. But I can tell you what, if you're open to that and you want some quick video testimonials to see live reaction, because that goes viral, that stuff. If you see people where they actually are videotaping a live reaction of somebody, right? We did that back in the day when they knocked on the door for the sweepstakes. They had the camera rolling. They wanted to see the authentic reaction rather than a thought out written, testimonial. It's just live, 15 seconds, right? And so that's what I'm going to be doing. You all can do whatever you want, but Coach Jeff this is what he's going to be doing. And so thank you again, ER. The site that I made, I'm so excited to show you, because I think you're going to say, Jeff, you nailed it. And then we're going to get going, because I have been wearing cement boots lately, and I apologize about that. So does this help everybody?
I think it's a great suggestion, Jeff, and thank you so much for sharing it. As I always do, I want to tease some of that gold nuggets out of here. I spent some time this week with Jeff when he was in town, and Jeff, thanks for coming to Colorado. Obviously, if any of you are out in the Colorado area, I want to spend time with you as well. Love to make those in real life connections happen. Jeff and I at that time talked about a few different things. And one thing was the cold market versus the warm market. It was a topic that we talked about. And I think one of the things that the power of in real life allows us to do is qualify a warm market lead. That's what Jeff is talking about when he's like, hey, I'm going to make a determination if I'm going to tap your device or not. Otherwise, I might just send you a link, maybe use a different tap card to send you the general stuff. But if you are qualified, I have an offer for you that I'm going to give you. I love Jeff's idea of filming that reaction, because again, this is so novel. It creates the experience, the magic for the people that you're sharing it with. And if you can capture that, we would love to have those reaction videos that we could help spread the word about the power of tap to other people. So powerful there, guys. And then think about that, right? What types of things am I using? How am I qualifying? All of those things play a role in what you're sharing and how you're interacting with people. So Jeff, thank you so much for that and for that recommendation. I would recommend anybody do that. We'd love to highlight those type of experience videos on future calls, on the marketing material that we're all sharing out to other people to show them the power of this technology. Really, really, really powerful, guys. Let's make sure we leverage it and share it with others. So guys, with that being said, any other things? We've got about 10 minutes left in our Friday with the Founders hour here. I don't want to take up all your time because I know it's precious, but we want to make sure we get any questions or any comments, celebrations answered. Okay. Guy, anything else you want to add, or anybody else?
I just want to, I appreciate everyone coming into our community and being active, and encourage, if you have other people, to invite them into the community and look at the active level of our ambassadors and how we're all working together and encouraging. Because I know, Gary, you asked from the aspect if there's promos and what those look like. And ER had mentioned that most likely some of them won't happen within the rest of this year. But we have had a lot of internal discussion, been talking with marketing teams elsewhere, and looking at how a lot of promotions work. And I think, looking at some of these in the future, we need to be active in order to take part of the promos. Whenever we say, hey, you'll be able to give the discount down to $10 to be able to have access to the solution and be essentially grandfathered into that price point moving forward. A lot of those promos moving forward, and why we encourage the activity and why we encourage you to take action when you get those, they may be at most a week long that these promos are going to be active. So, if you're on vacation, keep your ear out. If you're out doing other things and can't participate in the lives, make sure you get an opportunity to come back and watch those, because it could be next week we decide to say, hey, we're going to give you the last week of October the opportunity to refer at $10, or the first week in November, or looking at something, because we also know that Halloween is coming soon, and a lot of people's businesses stop until January 1st, when their resolutions are going to get kicked back in and they're going to do business again. We feel that during these times, these are when you can actually, in any business, create wealth. It's when the people that are deciding to sit on the sidelines, slow it down, but the people that are continuing to play and are in the game during these last 3 months of the year is where a lot of people can really grow a network, grow a team, grow the community. And we're all here. I would say everyone here is potentially looking for a way of growing wealth, not just to be rich. There's a difference in being rich and being wealthy, but being able to set yourself up and have a team going into the new year and talking about, additional things that are happening over here at Elify that we love. We love when our development team comes back to us and say, we have this figured out. We have the next version of an idea figured out, and want to show you to the fact of here today, ER and I get to sit down with our development team, and they are going to show and tell some pretty amazing things. It's still on our timeline to be released in the future. I'm not going to say near future, because there's definitely testing that has to be done. But we're extremely excited about shots, screenshots, things that they're sending us, and to know that people that get in now and have that opportunity to run forward are going to be set up with some pretty amazing things that some of those future type people may wish you would have told them about now.
So true, guys. So true. Kathy with the K, I saw that hand go up. You get the last question, and then we'll close this thing out. Go ahead.
Okay. So you see I have 2 QR codes.
Yes.
And the reason is because the one that has the 5 stars,
Yes.
it goes to my personal business card.
Yes.
But the other QR code gives people the opportunity to get a free download of my book.
Yes.
Okay, so how do I navigate that? Do I do like what I did with 2 QR codes?
You can.
Or what do you recommend?
Yeah, I think it just depends. Okay, I would recommend, to be honest, not necessarily putting 2 QR codes in one place unless you're labeling them. So underneath one, you might say connect with me, and under the other, you might say get my book, just so that the person scanning knows the difference between them both. I would say, yes, create as many QR codes as you want, going to as many pages as you want to build, But again, a confused mind always says no. If I see two QR codes, I might think they're both the same or whatnot. I also think about the right information to the right person at the right time. If I'm on Zoom and I'm looking to connect with people on Zoom, I might just do my personal business card QR code. But if I'm going into a meeting where I'm going to be talking about the book that I'm the author of, and I want people to, then I'm going to use another QR code. So I'd be cautious about using, don't fill up your whole background with different QR codes. I would probably max it out at 2, what you're doing. And I would caution it to say probably only 1 at a time. If you look at the other people with QR codes, there's typically only 1, because we want to move forward in that process. And here's the reality. If on your card one, the one with your 5 stars underneath it, if you put a button on that card that links back to your book page, you could always put a button that says, get my book. And so scanning one QR code could lead into the other one. Kathy's talked about that as creating microsites, where we take 2 shuffle cards and we link one shuffle card from the other shuffle card. That way we're giving somebody a path to follow. But I wouldn't lose sight of, there's going to be a time when you're promoting your book and you want a direct link to the book page. So you'll use that book QR code. I hope that helps.
Yes.
Okay.
It did, and it clarified the microsites too.
Yep. So
Thank
that's a big tip, and we can always explore those things on future Tech Tuesdays and Thursday roundtable discussions. So guys, in closing, first and foremost, I want to mention and highlight one thing that Guy said, right? We're ex-athletes, so we're going to use a lot of sports analogies. If you ever met Michael Ray and Edwin, Mindset of a Champion, again, sports analogies. We're going into Q4 here. A lot of people, this is the time they're sitting on the sidelines. I saw Anna post that in here. Don't be somebody who sits on the sideline. We are not bench warmers here, guys, right? We're players. And this is the season when most people are gearing up for the championship game, right? They've won the year. They've won more than they've lost throughout the year. And now they're setting themselves up for the playoffs, right? They're setting themselves up for the championship. So this is the choice that we have to make. Are we going to sit on the sidelines, or are we going to play through to the end of the year and win the championship? Because I truly feel, and guys, maybe it's me, but Guy, I think it's when most of the other players are leaving the field, and it's opening up the field for everybody who's still a player. The people who we're going to be interacting with, guess what? They may have shut down from other stuff, and now they're available, right? They're not as busy as they once were. So Q4, this late October, all of November, all of December is the best time, I think, is the best time. And that's that reverse we have to be thinking about in our mind, is this is the best time of the year. So this is the time to start using and testing and doing all of our stuff that we've been working on throughout the year, and really go out and get those wins so that we can be champions. So with that being said, as always, guys, it's Friday. Will Skill Refill over the weekend. We'll be back next week with some calls. We're going to have some limited stuff. I'm going to be out of town, out of pocket. I'm taking the whole family to Disney World. So we're going to be busy doing some of that type of stuff, but I'll be returning back the week of the 24th. If you need anything, we've shared all our contact information. You've scanned our QR codes. Reach out to us. We're here to support. We'll refill over the weekend. We'll have some light series of calls and lives next week, and we'll go from there, everybody. Take care. Have a good one.